Good morning, friends, and welcome to those who are just joining. Um, I love hearing from everyone who got to join us last week. And if you missed that, I definitely recommend that you go back and watch it. Tiffany took us through some vision exercises, just getting clear on what it is that we want, celebrating what we've already created and what we have, and moving forward powerfully. So you can watch that all at sharesuccess.com/call. Or you can watch it on the Facebook page, the Share Oil Success Facebook page. So welcome all. Happy spring. All right, just sharing the link on Facebook there. All right. Jeff says it's 85 degrees where he is. I'm guessing you're in Arizona. Is that right? I seem to remember that's where you are. Welcome, welcome. All righty. Well, I know Tiffany is going to join us today, but then I think she starts traveling to Germany with Brett next week. So I think I'm solo next week. So, and then I may be out a couple of weeks after that. So we'll have to see if we have someone fill in for us or if we give everyone a summer break. So it's still up in the air after 2 weeks from now, but plan on the next 2 weeks on us being here with you. So can I share a principle that I've been, speaking of gardening, speaking of soil, I've just been so passionate about dirt. And what do I mean by dirt? Dirt does not sound like a very sexy topic, but let me just give you a quick overview of what I mean. Have any of you studied regenerative farming or organic gardening? It's also a principle. Yes, there's a great documentary called Kiss the Ground. I think it's Woody Harrelson who's the narrator. Jason Mraz is one of the guests. But the whole idea is that if you take care of your soil will take care of you for the rest of your life. So regenerative farming is this whole focus of doing what's right to get a healthy ecosystem of microorganisms going in your soil. And if you do that, then you'll have to water your plants less. You'll have way less weeds. You'll have less pests. And the garden kind of takes care of itself. There's also this idea of having a diversity of plants instead of doing a monocrop, which is how industrial farming has been done for the last 100 years. Just doing a huge variety, all mixed in together. I mean, you could have rows, but the idea is the more variety and the closer they are together, the more the plants will actually protect each other. And it's really, really cool. So I highly recommend that documentary, Kiss the Ground. But as I've been learning about that, I started seeing parallels in our health. So let me just share my screen here. So I started to realize that the same thing that I'm learning about with soil is also true of the gut. So gut health can be measured by how many probiotics, how many healthy bugs we have going on in our gut. And again, it comes back to massive quantities and massive diversity. And so what I've learned is that so much of our health comes back to gut health. It all starts in the gut. And so if you just create a healthy biome in your gut, then your gut will take care of so much of your immunity, your immune needs. So immunity starts in the gut. All of our skin issues start in the gut. Metabolism starts in the gut. So everything comes back to, am I fueling a happy, healthy ecosystem of good bugs over bad bugs? So the thing about regenerative farming is it's not a quick fix. It's not a fast track way to gardening. In fact, you might spend 1 to 3 years just getting your soil really healthy before you start seeing the long-term benefits. And so it's not this, pill popping, spray the right chemical approach. It's really going for the long play. So I started thinking about all these different domains in our life where there is a shortcut approach. There's a way to get fast results, but there's also a cost. With that pill popping approach, there's a byproduct that's not good. And we pay a price in the long term. It's not sustainable. But if we choose to nourish at a deep level, then we'll see nature just kind of take care of us. It's almost like we fall into the arms of a loving mother, Mother Earth, that just takes care of us. And so with our health, we can go grab any of the food in the middle of the grocery store that's mostly highly processed, and it will fill you, but it's not going to nourish your gut flora. It tends to be the live foods, a lot of dark leafy greens that really feed that gut flora. Even things like fermented foods are, they're maybe not always the tastiest, but they will nourish the gut flora. Sugar is one of the quickest way to hurt your flora and dampen your immune system. But again, with health, taking doTERRA's approach to health, truly nourishing your body will give you the kind of healthy gut flora that you want. And I love that doTERRA is providing the new PB Restore, the new PB Assist to help us feed that gut flora. When it comes to our body, if we wanted to have a beach-ready body for summer, what could we do to fast track that? We could go in for liposuction. We could take Ozempic, right? There are so many fast track ways to get that body, but the long-term play is to actually move your body, to stay active, to walk, within 30 minutes of your biggest meal. Like little simple things like that are the long track way, the long view approach to creating long-term health. When it comes to sourcing our essential oils, we could quickly go through middlemen and get decent oils. But we choose to do the long haul way, which is co-impact sourcing. And that's harder, but long-term, it's so much better for everyone. When it comes to business, we could take the quick approach when we're doing sales of, just give me your credit card, just buy this thing. But that doesn't last, and it could damage the relationship long-term. That's part of why network marketing gets the bad rap that it has, is because of this type of approach to doing sales. The long-term approach, which Tiffany talks about ad nauseum, is nurturing relationships. So this takes more time, and it takes longer for it to bear fruit, but it's what lasts. And this is what builds the kind of business, the kind of doTERRA business that I want to have and pass on to my children. So this will, if you feed your relationships, then you can feed your family for generations. Regenerative farming, we've already talked about this. If you focus on the plants, if you focus on just getting maximum yield, maximum growth on your plants, then you can get that with chemicals. But if you nourish the soil, again, that soil will feed your family for generations. And then with social media, kind of a similar thinking. you could think of it as a way to consume, but if instead you choose to see it as a way to produce value, to connect deeply, to create meaningful connection, then again, you will see relationships that nourish you and can actually serve financially for a lifetime. So those are just a couple of thoughts that I've been having about everything that we talk about every week, and how the long view is actually what nourishes you, and how the shortcuts are such a weak counterfeit and will leave you oftentimes sicker and have so many unintended consequences. There are so many negative side effects of these shortcut approaches that simply cannot and will not serve you long term. So those are a couple of my quick thoughts. You can tell it's springtime, Tiff, because I keep talking about dirt and soil and plants. It's just, I'm kind of obsessed about it lately.
Please do so, right? Keep it
So
coming. What
I,
we there's this I've been talking about this I've been doing it. I'm doing a course all week. Some of you are there and participating. My Mindset Makeover Miracle May edition. And we've been talking about the words we speak, right? There's a quote by the poet Hafiz, the words you speak becomes the house you live in. And what you think about and speak about, you bring about into your life. So please keep speaking over that, because your sweet wife, after we all were together on Monday, I think it was Monday morning, she sent a photo to our group where how much snow was back on the deck.
oh my goodness.
And I
I know
was like,
we had
no,
just
let's.
put out, oh, sorry, I hate to play my victim story, but we bought these huge um, vines, they're wisteria,
Oh, they're
and
gorgeous, you
they're
guys.
they're these huge pots, and I put them out thinking, okay, we're done with the snow. But then we had another snowstorm. It sheeted off the roof and it stripped about half of the leaves and broke off half of the branches. And I was like, oh, dang it, Utah. I underestimated your power to come back and strike
Mhm.
again.
Yes.
So
Like you
Utah
said to me on
strikes back.
Sunday, well, it's May. It may rain, it may be sunny, it may snow. It's May. By the way, I told that to my mom and she thought that was the cutest thing ever. She'd never heard that before. So anyway, we are doing good. There's no more snow on the ground, but similar. And it was just funny is because so Monday we wake up to snow. Like Saturday had been like 77 degrees. It's a
Yeah.
little bit fussy on Sunday, and we'd all been together for a friend's dinner and friends who are like family, right? Sunday dinner. And then we wake up Monday morning to like snow back on the ground and snow on all of our flowers,
Mhm.
like to Andy's point. So I'm out there as well, like getting all the snow off of like flowers and things. And I'm like, I'm being, and I'm kicking off my mindset course. So I'm like, keep your
Mhm.
mind in a good spot about this. Like the snow means nothing. It's what we make it mean, right? And our energy. But it was just like, oh, yeah. Anyway, so
Totally.
yes, please keep speaking about the dirt and the growth and the green and all of that good stuff. So, so exciting. And that wisteria, was it saved? Could you save it?
Yes, I think
Okay.
it's gonna make it.
All right, good.
Yeah, there was some sadness there for a minute, but I think it's gonna make
Hmm.
it.
Well, good morning, everyone. And I love the graphic you were just sharing in this conversation. One of my favorite words of all time is the word nourish.
Mhm.
And I like to ask that of myself, and in coaching, we've probably heard it here many times, is what nourishes you? And thinking about, because consuming and nourishment are two different things, right? So when you think about that, like, you think about social media, there can be definitely nourishing accounts and people there. I follow a lot of that. But sometimes if we're not mindful and we're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, we're consuming more than, say, perhaps we are nourishing, right? Like reading a good book, doing our meditation practice, getting that workout in, and doing things for our soul, for our mind, our bodies, things that nourish us. We all know the difference after when we're like, ooh, I've eaten a really nourishing meal and we feel so good, right? Like the chicken that you guys prepared in that meal on Sunday was so nourishing. I loved it.
I'm so glad that served you.
It really did.
Uh,
But nourishment versus just like empty calories. And so I love that you were showing that because it's like long game is like, is this nourishing to me from relationships to environments you're hanging out in? This is a big thing we've been talking about the last 2 days and this week in the mindset course is creating an environment that's nourishing, right? Because your environment, it's like what helps bloom the flowers is the environment it's in and the soil and the fertilizer and the sun and it's like, oh, we're doing the things that nourish the outcomes that we want.
mhm,
So I just think it's one of those things that we go, potency of environments and again, nourishment. I love that word, nourish.
mhm,
Thinking about that for each of you, your homes being nourished, your relationships, your mindset, your bodies, your businesses, thinking about the nourishment side of that. And Jeff's asking about the quote I just rattled off the beginning. The words we speak becomes the house we live in. It's a quote by a poet named Hafiz, Hafiz. There's also a great book by Florence Shin, who we love her. We talked about her at different points over the years. Her most famous book is a book called The Game of Life and how you play it. The Game of Life and How You Play It. She has another book called Your Word is Your Wand. Meaning, like, again, the words, be mindful of the words that we're speaking and what we're thinking, because your thoughts and your words literally have creative power to them. When you think about it, like thoughts and the energy of thought, and we know this, like I love, is it Dr. Emoto, I think his name is, that, the study of the water, messages in water. Great book, you guys. And I think you can even find YouTube videos on this.
Hey,
Where,
Tim,
yeah,
before you promote that book too much,
yeah.
I have to stop you because I
Okay, stop me.
loved that book and I loved the idea. It's
Was
never
it
been
not true?
it's never been replicated scientifically. So unfortunately,
What?
I can't give it my wholehearted I mean, I believe in the principle.
Andy,
A
I
hundred
thought you
percent,
were
I believe
telling
in the
me
principle.
about Santa Claus right now.
I know it's kind of like Brett and recycling, right?
Oh, that was rough.
Oh, that
That
was
was rough.
yeah,
Okay, well, the power, though, we do know the power of what we think has an influence on us, right?
yeah.
And there's an energetic force to your thoughts and even your words, like me right now speaking. It's just like, or someone singing, there's literally a frequency, like when I'm on my little garage band and recording a show, and you can watch the frequency of your words. And so just being more intentional of your thoughts and your words
Mhm.
because they are creative, right? So
It's true. It's how
mindful of that.
God spoke, right? And he created the world.
100%. So we just
So
speak over those wisteria as well. It's like,
that's
"Hi,
right.
sweetheart, you're looking beautiful today. You're growing so strong and vibrant."
Yep.
We'll just affirm them.
I'm also speaking the words that I'm an excellent listener. When Natalie asked me to go buy chicken at the store, I'm an excellent listener.
Yeah. Listen, I know it's, oh man,
The
oh
power
life,
word.
power of it.
Oh, so good. Well, should we jump into some coaching?
I think we should. Let's do it.
Awesome. Go ahead and raise your hand if you want to join the conversation. Um, always open to questions. Um, just love this topic of holistic living, right? Like, how can I step back, take a look at the whole, instead of how can I just zoom in and put a band-aid on something small? How can I step back, look at the whole, look at my, my whole body, my whole environment, my whole ecosystem. And I've loved all the comments that have been coming through. What questions come up? How do you want to, where do you want to take this today?
Mm.
Christina says, I saw a great commercial with this concept. I had heartburn, so I took this. Then I got nauseous, so they gave me this. And that gave me heart pressure. So then they prescribed this. And, it's like, yeah, that Band-Aid approach takes you down a rabbit hole really fast.
Mm. So true.
Yeah. And Becky says, we live in a microwave society. We want everything now. We want everything to work. But nature, it's so amazing how nature self-corrects. It just has this ability
Mm-hmm.
um, to heal itself. And obviously, we have to take care of the environment. I'm not saying we don't. There's a stewardship there, but that's kind of what this whole regenerative farming is about, is like a huge percentage of the deserts in the world are man-made. That's their proposal, is that back when we had buffalo roaming and we had cattle just roaming everywhere, we actually had a lot of those deserts were grasslands. So you had grasses that were 3 to 6 feet tall. And but thanks to our modern farming practices, they're now deserts. So nature, though, if we take care of it, it can heal itself. So kind of exciting. So raise your hand if you'd like to join the conversation. We're always here for all of the convos. All right, Irina. Whoops. Shoot. I clicked rename. I didn't mean to rename you, Irina. I tried to promote you. So let's try that again. Yeah, Amy's confirming the desert of Maine is a good example of that. Yeah, the West and what we did with the buffalo, I'm just like shocked. Because they took such good care of us. So sad. All right, Irina, I think I promoted you to panel. Okay, here she comes. Maybe. Okay, I thought Irina was raising her hand because she wanted to ask us a question. So to do that, you just join us as a panelist and then unmute yourself. Yeah, go watch Kiss the Ground. It's shocking. I think they just produced a follow-up too. I don't know if it's out yet, but fascinating topic. Okay, Irina, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, I think we've got you on as a panelist.
Yeah, the Zoom finally worked for that. I just have a question. What is the best way to keep the positive more mindset when you struggle with the opposition a lot? Or like I get sick, I get migraines pretty easy, so I tend to lose the more positive mindset and stay in the negative mindset. Is there a way to change that?
Tiffany, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and then I'll chime in. How to keep a mindset even when you've got health issues and all the opposition, right?
Yeah. So Irina, it's good to hear from you. And I think that, some of us deal with physical things that impact us, emotional things, mental things, all of us being human. I think the important thing is that we practice. And that's really it, seeing that way. And you can also see your mind as and mindset as a muscle. And so you can absolutely strengthen it, but it's never about being perfect. It's just about what are you practicing and choosing to drop into that thought process for, practicing is kind of like giving yourself permission that it isn't about, do I ever have a negative thought return or I get, in a funk or I have struggles come back up? Because, we talk about this, that the weeds always return, right? Like the weeds return. That's part of the natural law of the earth. That's part of being human. Like, even though I teach mindset, I study it, I nourish my own all the time, every day, I still have negative thoughts, judgments, discouragements that I experience. It's just having a toolbox, seeing that less about that you never have a negative thought again, because that can feel really stressful, you guys, actually, to be like, oh, I have to have a perfect mindset and I'm never negative and I'm self-doubt has never come back up once I quote healed it or things. I definitely think we strengthen certain muscles. What we focus on expands for sure. But to see it more like a muscle that you're nourishing and training on a regular basis, but just realizing, just like the physical body, sometimes our muscles are fatigued or we pull a muscle and maybe we've been really doing well and great with our workouts, and then we pull a muscle or something and we have to take some downtime and we're a little discouraged. Well, our mind is the same way. And so it's just about what are you proactively planting, nourishing, strengthening, realizing that you still will have weeds that will pop up, but it's more about having a toolbox and an underlying decisive belief system that it's like, I'm here to progress. And I'm going to progress and I'm going to practice. And I really like to put those two together, practices and progression, things like that, that I think you can drop into. You're also welcome. You can join the mindset course. All the recordings are included. We're right in the middle of this week's session. And once a year, I open it up and you can do a what's called pay what you choose experience. The rest of the year, if you buy the course, any other time outside of this week, it's $197. Right now, you can pick a price point from $37, $67, or $97. That website is mymindsetmakeover.com. And it's one tool that can help you in your toolbox of how do I actually be intentional about my mindset? How do I be intentional about my manifesting? Today, we're talking in detail about marketing and sales, and how you have a mindset that is tuning you in so you don't shrink and hide in business. As well as then tomorrow, we're talking about money mindset, and Friday is it's a Q&A session for those that opt in at the 97 level. But that's just one resource of others, but listening to good books, podcasts, right, and studying that, but having patience with yourself and realizing, guess what, the weeds return. And it's more about, I'm practicing a healthier mindset. I'm practicing what I want to see bloom. And when it comes to migraines, I love Jeff asked, in the chat box, any suggestions about or recommendations for migraines. The only thing that I would contribute to that is just making sure you have a lot of, you're well hydrated and electrolytes in your hydration, because a lot of times research suggests that headaches, I realize a migraine is more intense than that. But anytime I start to get any kind of a headache, I'll immediately drink 8 to 16 ounces of water. And usually with at least 8 of those 16 ounces will have electrolytes in them. So you have, again, your salts and your potassium and your magnesium. It's not just that you're drinking water and hydrated. We also know that we need certain salts and electrolytes in our body. But for me, the majority of the time, my headaches are a result of dehydration. Dehydration creates a lot of disruption in our bodies. However, again, others, if you guys want to weigh in of certain protocols or practices you've done for migraines that could help support Irina with that as well, you guys have a lot of resources for that too. So anyway, those are my initial thoughts, but just giving yourself grace and permission that you're practicing and realizing it's about progress and what do I choose to focus on? What do I choose to nourish? And just like any muscle you'd work out in your body, you see that same thing for your mindset is, well, that's right. Because we do have certain grooves, right? And patterns that we're tempted to walk down that are familiar, that feel more like, oh, fear or disruption or discouragement or, negativity. We're all navigating that, every single one of you, not just her and not just me. And so it's important that, again, we give ourselves the awareness, but we do practice and get intentional about what am I nourishing in my mind? What am I reading, listening to? What thoughts am I choosing to think? And what visualizations am I choosing to play in my mind that I can have that being more as like my lighthouses that guide me to where I want to be? Yeah.
So
Andy, you
powerful.
want to add to that, both what you just posted as well as anything else mindset wise?
Yeah, I think the main idea is exactly what you stated, like expecting yourself to be, to become immune from negative thoughts or become immune from, low states of energy or just discouragement in general. That's not my experience, right? Like you always say, the weeds just come back without any effort from our own. The weeds return, and same thing with the negative thoughts and feelings. So I think that mindset, like you said, is just giving yourself grace, giving yourself all the permission in the world to be in practice. That's exactly where I would have gone. So great thought. Irina, how's that landing for you?
That actually makes, sorry, I was doing a croissant. That actually makes a lot of sense, especially when you Tiffany talked about how the mind is a muscle and you need to nourish it, and then the woods philosophy, I garden a lot,
Mm,
and so I make sure that I water like all my food that I planted, but then the woods just come back like faster than the actual food. Um, so that makes sense that sometimes even when you water the good seed, the woods will just survive. And to me, that actually hit home. So I'm really grateful for that.
mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love, again, isn't that a great quote mindset? Is I don't have to water my weeds and they just come back. But I have to be intentional about my vegetables, right, Irina, and my flowers and my fruits but the things you want to see bloom, we have to be intentional about that. And so the weeds just return, but I don't freak out every time I see weeds. I may not always love it, but it's like every, April or May, you go out and you're like, okay, I'm not shocked that there's weeds back that we have to remove and clear out again and again and again because it's just part of nature. It's the law of the earth. And therefore, as humans, you will have negative thoughts pop up. You will have and then, emotions that follow that. It's just more about the art of practicing. But like right now, what's a better feeling thought? A thought you'd like to choose, right? And you choose your thoughts like you choose your outfits, your clothing. That's Elizabeth Gilbert's type of a quote of learning to select our thoughts like we would select an outfit and being intentional about, what we're putting on, what we're choosing into. And so thoughts like, life is working out for me. God or universe has my back. I am perfectly supported. I'm healthy and fit. I had this experience the other morning. I was doing a short workout. I did a bike ride and then I was doing some push-ups and my mind was in a lot of different places. And I was just kind of like, oh, yeah, I'm a little bit tired or whatever. And then I was like, no. And I literally just was like, in my thoughts, I am strong. And I literally watched my body shift to the thought, right? So when we think, I am strong, I am fit, I am healthy. Now these are core affirmations I'm just rattling off, but those are chosen thought patterns of like, life is working out for me. Another great thought I love to think slash pray is, who can I serve today? I want to bring human sunshine to someone today or to many people. I love to think the thought, what magic or miracle or how will I see God's hand in my life today? There's different, we can choose all kinds of thoughts. Who can I serve today? What a great day. I woke up today. What am I grateful for? It's one of the things we're talking about or talked about yesterday in the mindset course. We were talking about the 7 strategies for manifesting, how we come into alignment from law of attraction. You can't control manifestation, but you can influence it. And we talked about alignment work to drop into that. And one of those practices is gratitude journaling, right? Is what we focus on expands. Your brain, all of us, your brain is an evidence-seeking organism. And so when we focus on what's good in my life today, what's the positive? What are the things I love about my spouse versus the things that might have bothered me this morning or yesterday or whatever, or the things in this friendship, or, what am I thrilled about with my doTERRA business? What am I excited about? Because if you don't steward your mind, it will become it's easy for it to become just a lot of weeds, an unruly mess. We do have to have stewardship. I loved Andy introduced that word back with us today. And you're a stewardship of your home, a stewardship of your body, stewardship of your children, your stewardship of your resources, your finances, a stewardship, though, very much so of your mind and your spirit. And sometimes we're just being reactive. We're just going through our day reactively, responding to the brightest, shiniest object or the thing with the most urgency, someone else's stress, what's up for our child or whatever is going on, versus, wait, what am I proactively planting and nourishing? And Irina, it sounds like where you're a very active gardener, you understand that direct correlation. The weeds are going to return, but I want to be intentional. What thought patterns do I choose to think? What questions do I choose to ask my brain? What am I grateful for? How am I seeing what miracles or what new things are coming forward today? How can I be a blessing today? I wonder how I'll see God's hand today. I wonder what magic, or I wonder what new clients are just around the corner. I can't wait to meet them. Think that thought, you guys. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to help someone new experience orange, wild orange, and peppermint for the first time, and frankincense. Oh my gosh. Copaiba and balance and black spruce and, rose essential oil. Good night. It's just like the excitement of I'm going to help so many. I can't wait the new people I'm going to be meeting and supporting. And these aren't complicated things. It's just if we're not conscious and intentional of like, ooh, have I nourished my brain today? Just like, have I nourished my body today? It's really easy to just let whatever's the loudest voice be running the show, or our focus on all the weeds, or what's in lack, what's in scarcity, what's missing versus what's abundant, what's possible. And it's also the thought that I do want you guys to practice is when the negative thoughts come up is not to, berate yourself, get after yourself. Again, it's just like, oh, the weeds are there. You can stay neutral about it. Is just being tender. Like, okay, I hear you. What do you need, sweetheart? What would you rather think or believe? We get to choose, but see how you feel? Like even thinking, I watched your energy, Andy, change. So when I start thinking thoughts like, gosh, I wonder who's coming around the corner, who I'm going to meet, or new customer, new client, or I am strong, I'm healthy. There's so much good. God has me. I'm so curious to see what God or what the universe is going to do in this situation in my life. I can't wait to see how things evolve and unfold. It's just like those are so much better thoughts, because you still can't control other people, you can't control outcomes, but you can influence, hey, I want to nourish the positive in my life.
Mhm.
Good stuff.
So good. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Jeff also asked about migraines. And when it comes to headaches, migraines, there's so many things that you need to look at. They can stem from gut issues. They can stem from hydration, like Tiffany spoke to. But I looked it up in the Essential Emotions book. So this is a fantastic reference guide. You can go to essentialemotions.com and you can get the app or the book. And if you look up headache or head tension, it says the emotional root is processing events around you. The underlying emotions are indecisive, frustrated, overwhelmed, and powerless. And then the look deeper questions are, what am I currently trying to avoid or not deal with? Am I feeling conflict in my life? Am I absorbing the concerns of those around me, mistaking it for my own? So somebody also recommended having an emotional breakthrough process around the migraine. So definitely worth downloading that worksheet if you'd like. It's a free download at essentialemotions.com. And we also have a directory there of certified emotions coaches that could take you through that process if you want some guidance there. So great resources there. Last weekend, Natalie actually hosted a retreat here at the house for the Essential Emotions coaches. And the level of breakthrough that she got to experience and be a part of was just like, there are no words to capture how deep they went and how transformative. All the coaches practiced on each other. We had Joe Thalstrom there. It was so powerful. And Natalie is like, we got to do this every weekend. She was so on fire. It was really fun to see her. And I haven't even heard about her own breakthroughs that she had. She said her Joe breakthroughs were really powerful. So we are in the business of breakthroughs, right?
I love that. I love the Essential Emotions book, and I am so grateful for these essential oils, you guys. I saw my esthetician yesterday not that you care to know any of this, but just to have my eyebrows tinted and my lashes tinted. Anyone else who's like blonde or redheaded that you're like, because without mascara, Andy, I don't know if you know this about me, you're gonna have a revelation after like 12 years of friendship. But if I don't have mascara on, I look like a bug. I don't know if you know this, right? Without them tinted, because they're just fair, like they're just light. The point. So you guys, I look like a bug without mascara on, and it's fine. I think bugs are cute. It's just like, hey, here we go. But why I'm telling you guys this, how my gratitude deeply is like how amazing my skin looks. And it's
Mm,
a combination, right, of good gut health and products and what we're eating. But I love, love, love my Glow Blend. And just like my skin feels and looks so good. And that Glow Blend is all therapeutic grade essential oils by doTERRA, right? And just the awareness of that potency of that little concoction and how great it's like your skin is so stunning. And it's like, granted, it's a combination of what goes on the inside, but also
sure.
like just topically, I love those essential oils. It's so
They're
good, you guys.
precious gift of the earth.
Oh,
We
I'm
are
so
so
thankful. And then just like
grateful.
oils, right, that use regularly on my skin or that I'm diffusing or taking orally, that type of thing. It's just like, oh, I'm so grateful.
Okay, you queued it up. So now people are asking, what's the Glow Blend? I'm curious, what are the hoops that you're going to have them jump through to get your Glow
Well, you're
Blend
going to need to
kit?
Venmo me $700 to get access to my magical serum.
And that's a discount.
That
Everyone
is
needs to
normally
know
it's
that is a
nine hundred and
premium
ninety-five
deal.
dollars. You guys get a discount. The Glow Blend is a combination of yarrow palm, frankincense, copaiba, blue tansy, and then an organic rosehip oil in a blend. And I do about 20 drops yarrow palm, 20 drops frank, about 10 to 12 drops copaiba, 4 to 5 drops of blue tansy. And then you can add for sure rose oil to that too. But I often just keep Rose Touch nearby. And after the Glow Blend and then Rose Touch goes on in addition. But I sometimes will pop off that top and add a little rose to it. So it's there. Yeah, Esther, I just made a new bottle of Glow on Sunday. Smiley face. Yeah, it's so good. Andy, also, you guys do have it. sharesuccess.com/glow. I use these little bottle that's like, I think, a 2-ouncer off of Amazon. I bought a long time ago, but you can also use an empty yarrow palm bottle, and that's the same sizing, right? It's just using that. So, but even any one of those oils going on your skin is going to help improve it. It's just that's such a potent combination because again, you have the yarrow palm, which is made for that. You have frank, which is so good. And then you've got copaiba, which is kind of think about like it's calming to your skin. Blue tansy. Sometimes you'll see blue tansy. I remember this years ago. It was like I was at the nail salon getting my nails done, and because I don't have magazines, coming to my home, but there was a magazine like a Vogue or something like that, and it was talking about how blue tansy is one of the most potent ingredients used in high-end skincare products. And you guys have the therapeutic, like distilled pure grade of that. So I know some of those oils are a little bit priced. They can be pricier, right? I mean, you're talking about yarrow, frank, copaiba is not so expensive, but blue tansy. But again, it's an investment and a little goes a long way. So anyway, I'm just saying, you guys get that stuff. I am the biggest fan of those oils. But from
Amen.
emotions to our skin, right, to our health, our well-being, it's just like, oh, so grateful. There's an oil that right now there's 2 right now that I'm really feeling grateful for that also to me have like kind of this feminine invitation. Well, 3 really, but also like self-care, loving, healing is the oil of geranium, the oil of bergamot, and then the oil of Tulsi. Is it Tulsi rose or basil? Tulsi basil.
Mm,
Oh, that's so good.
yum.
Yeah, so good.
So good. All right, I think we have Becky on with us.
Oh, yay.
If you want to unmute yourself, we'd love to have a chat.
Yeah, thanks, Sandy. Tulsi is holy basil.
There you go.
Hi,
Hi, Becky, welcome.
thanks. Hey, my question is, as you pulled up the Essential Emotions book, is when you have an oil that you really don't like the smell of, just curious what that means, and then how do you incorporate that maybe into your routine to make your body be maybe more accepting of that? For me, it's geranium. So I kind of smile, Tiffany, when you're like, oh, I love geranium. I'm like, oh, I hate the smell of geranium.
So yeah, it's a great question. And we found that the oils are kind of like little messengers from Mother Earth. And so often they have their own little message that they're trying to get through to us. And so the messages can come in either being attracted to it or being repelled by it. And so anytime I'm having a strong attraction or compulsion, or what's the right word? Repulsion
Yeah.
to an oil, I always look it up. And you don't have to breathe it in. You don't have to, bathe yourself in it, but definitely just get curious and look it up in the emotions book. And I think you'll be surprised what you'll find. It's really fun when we just get curious about what gifts Mother Earth might have in store for you, especially from the emotion side.
Mm.
So yeah, I'd say go dive in, go get curious.
So I've done that, if you're willing to help me process a little bit more.
Oh, sure.
So I've done that with the geranium.
Okay.
And the things that the Essential Emotions book talks about with geranium, like I know that those are, one of the things it talks about is just healing your relationship with your parents, which is definitely an issue. But I feel like I've done some of the work on that, but I still really don't like that smell. So do you feel like it's a thing that I would need to keep working through and processing the things that are in the Essential Emotions book that are connected to geranium? Or is it better to actually start using the oil, or do you have a suggestion on an approach for that?
So I would say it probably depends. It could be that there's like, if it's a really strong like dislike for it, then I'd be open to there's something here for me. But if it's just kind of like like oregano, I don't diffuse oregano on a daily basis. Like it's a really, really strong smell and not a smell that I want to be around all the time. So if it's kind of a general dislike, I wouldn't give it that much attention. But if it's like this when I look at my oils, this oil is screaming out at me, then I would get more curious and maybe try put on the bottoms of your feet and maybe put some in a capsule, like just spend more time with it. So on the negative emotions list under geranium, so I've looked it up here in the emotions book. Some of the negative emotions are abandoned, loss, distrusting, unforgiving, unloving, disheartened, heavy-hearted, and grieving. So do any of those stand out to you as I read through that list?
Can you read them one more time?
Yeah, so abandoned, loss, distrusting, unforgiving, unloving, disheartened, heavy-hearted, and grieving.
Probably mostly distrusting and abandoned.
Okay. If you had to pick between one of those two, where would you go?
I don't know.
No right or wrong answer here. Just as you think about distrusting and
Probably distrusting.
distrusting. Okay. So let's read through distrusting. So I've just turned from the oil section, which has the oil descriptions, and now I've gone to the emotion section. So the emotion question, the emotion we're talking about is distrusting. There are some look deeper questions. The first one is, how have I been hurt in the past? What am I protecting myself from? What will it take for me to trust again? And again, we don't have to go there if you don't want to. This is not intended to be a full-blown therapy session in front of strangers. So, but just, ponder on those questions and feel free to answer if you'd like. Have you been hurt in the past? What are you protecting yourself from? What will it take for you to learn to trust again? And then the declare statement is, I now trust in the good within me and in the world. And the visualization is, imagine yourself as a tree with roots anchored into the earth. See yourself upheld and supported during the storms of life. So anything there connecting or?
Yeah, I think it's like even reading the whole description of geranium, like, oh yeah, this is totally me. I feel like it's things that I'm very aware of. And I feel like it's things that I've worked through a lot of, but because I really have a big aversion to geranium, I'm like, okay, maybe there's more things that are deeper that I haven't still yet worked through, that I'm still have walls up that I'm protecting.
Yeah. Sounds like there's an opportunity there to take a look at those walls and go deeper. Have you ever experienced the emotional breakthrough process? Have you ever worked with a coach?
No.
Okay. Well, Ruth in the comments has said that she is now she's doing the certification coaching program, and so she's offering a free session to anybody who's interested. So I would definitely recommend just trying that out. Try filling out the worksheet with her and looking deeper. Natalie and I just feel like this process is not something we invented. It's like something that was given to us and we're just trying to be good stewards of. And it's been so incredible to watch the magic unfold, the breakthroughs that are there for us if we're curious and if we stick with the process. So she posted her phone number in the chat. I guess I should share that because those watching the recording won't have access to the chat. So anyways, Ruth is going through the training. It sounds like she's not quite certified yet, but to get certified, you do some practice sessions with people. So her phone number is 320-333-6597 for anybody who's interested. And then it looks like Christina. Somebody asked, how do you get certified? So basically you just go to essentialemotions.com and click on the coaching section there. And it talks about what the process is. So you can do it really fast. Some people take their time. There's no time restrictions there. And so, yeah, definitely go check that out too. If some of you are asking. So becoming a coach is a really gratifying, satisfying process. And that reminds me, Tiffany, I wanted to talk to you as people are going through the health challenges that we've been doing, like the Up Level 21 challenges. I've thought about we've wanted to offer something to those coaches, and so it'd be cool if we brainstorm that. But that's kind of off topic. So
yeah, I'd love to.
Coaching is a joy, and Tiffany is like uber coach to all coaches. She's amazing.
Thank you. So Becky, this is what I would just also drop into for yourself, again, as just your own intuition as you read, or like, what's this about for me? You know, because sometimes there are scents or flavors to things that we're just maybe not drawn to. It's just that when we're having a reaction to it, is that's what I think is a curiosity opportunity. It's like, oh, because sometimes like there are certain scents that I prefer more, or certain foods I prefer more than others, right? But I do think I also loved, I think it was Elizabeth said, you can also, there's a lot of times if I'm diffusing geranium, it's never just by itself. It's usually with like citrus bliss or some kind of citrus, and it's just really poignant. But a little bit of that, I do have geranium go on my heart. My massage therapist came to my home this last week, and I said, will you put a little geranium on the back of my heart? Just because it's such a great, I think of geranium and I think heart healer, right? But I also think rose could do the same thing, right? They have the similar properties. They're in a similar family. And so if you're like, rose is my gal, geranium, oh, because sometimes friends, I don't know if, again, I pay attention to when you have an aversion come up, it's like, oh, what is that representing? Is there something there? And intuitively, if there is something there, then work with it. But if it's also feels like clean energy, like, it's just not my thing. We also don't have to talk ourselves into, an oil or a person or a restaurant dish. If we're like, yeah, it's just not my thing, that's okay too. But I do pay attention to like, oh, what's this oil about and what's it teaching? And is there anything there for me that's resonating?
Thank you.
Yeah. Great question, Becky. Thank you so much for joining the conversation with real talk. I'm seeing so much chatter in the chat about aversions. So I think you've been the voice for a lot of us today. We had another question that was asked. What if you have an allergy to an oil, but sometimes you have a strong feeling to use it or smell it? Best to let that feeling pass. So allergies are a whole nother topic. We could spend a whole hour on that. In the whole time that I've been in doTERRA, I mean, we've got 2.2 million team members now. I think I've met 2 on my team that have actually had medical tests done and have an actual allergy to the oil. Most common, 99% of the time, people have cleansing reactions to certain oils. And so, if an oil is meant to clean you out, it's kind of like if I were to go out and I don't know, put some lemon oil on I don't know, like a wound. That's a bad example.
You're like, let me start over. But sometimes to the point, it's cleansing isn't always comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cleansing has a cost. Like there might be some unpleasantness. And so, definitely be careful. Don't just bathe yourself in something that you think you're allergic to. Just be wise, be prudent. But I think I would just say, be curious, stick with where you're feeling drawn and what's speaking to you. The emotional side of the oils. I love Marlene saying, I just ordered the book. It's a powerful guide. And the oils are such a powerful gift to each of us. Before we wrap today, can I just pass on? So somebody said in the chat today is the tickets to convention have gone on sale. And so who all is coming to convention with us? Natalie and I will be there with bells on. We are always so grateful for everything doTERRA provides for us through convention. Such a great way to gather your teams, create momentum, even inviting prospects. Yes, I'm seeing lots of people who are going to be there with us. So go to, I think it's convention.doterra.com and get your early bird pricing now. Let's maximize this, don't let it just pass. It's such a great way to get people inspired, to build belief, to create connections. So, yeah, let's be there. Let's party. Let's have some fun. Great. Anything else you want to share, Tiff?
No, I love that I mean, it feels a little surreal, but I love we're talking about convention already again.
I know, right?
And at that time frame and coming together. I just love that. So yay, so exciting.
Okay, well, I think you head out of town next week. And
This
so,
weekend.
yep, so you'll be gone.
Yep.
But I'll be here next week, and then we'll see if we have a friend lead these for the couple of weeks after that. But enjoy your trip, Tiff, and we will
Thank
see
you.
the rest of you
Yeah.
next week.
Yep. See you guys in June.